welcome everybody to another round of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name, as always, is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user Jonas24041993. That's Jonas24041993, and he's driving the 59-16 on a standard battle on the steppes. I think for ease sake, we're just going to call him Jonas from now on, and the 59-16 is a tier 6 Chinese light tank, the one that gets that auto-loader cannon, although its cannon isn't particularly good as it is. This one is a tier 9 battle, so obviously Jonas is going to have to play the scouting role more than anything else. But this thing is pretty damn fast and maneuverable. As you can see on a flat surface, it gets up to about 60 kilometers an hour, and it's pretty damn maneuverable. Don't think you can rely on its lovely sloped armor, though. It's not going to bounce very many shots. And the cannon on this thing is going to have a really, really bad time trying to penetrate anybody from the front. So it looks like Jonas not satisfied with doing the passive scouting technique. He's going to be more active and roaming scouting. Finds an ELC AMX here and decides to put a couple of shots through him. Although the cannon might not be fantastic, it is pretty good when matched up against another light tank. Unfortunately, very early in the game, he's going to have to use his repair kit here to fix the ammo rack that ELC dished out to him earlier. As you can see, when ammo rack, the reload of this cannon, the auto-loader goes up from about 8.5 seconds to 17 seconds. So definitely worth repairing that there. So now Jonas is going to be really, really brave here. I'm going to head all the way into the enemy base. Finds the rear of this Panther II here. And just going to pick out the weakest points of the rear armor. Sets the Panther II on fire. And it looks like the Panther II hasn't brought a fire extinguisher for some reason. A tier 8 tank without a fire extinguisher. And he's just going to burn down while Jonas hides behind a rock and reloads his cannon. Being let down by his gun depression there, Panther II realizes that there was somebody behind him and turns his gun to face that direction. Unfortunately, it's just way too late as Jonas has already left here. Gets rammed in the rear by this AMX. Which one is that? Is that a 1390? So got to play it carefully here because the 1390 is just a supreme light tank killer. Unfortunately, looks like he was reloading there. Only maybe had 1 or 2 shots left. Thought he could come in for the easy kill on the 59-16, but it wasn't to be. And Jonas picks up kill number 3. Now finds the enemy's artillery. Unfortunately, bounces that first one and the second one. As you can see, the cannon of this thing, not fantastic. But the other shots all find their mark apart from that last one there. Got to play it careful. The artillery has his shot and misses. Really should be starting to run right about now. As you see, already is starting to run. The T-32 driving past in the foreground there. Don't know why he didn't stop to help his fellow artillery. But as it is, Jonas takes out that guy and picks up kill number 4 now. So I was saying he was going to have an active scouting session, and indeed he has. He's already picked himself up 4 kills and 2,500 points of damage. Finds a GW Tiger, spends enough time aiming here. GW Tiger going to back off after taking a little bit of damage, but he gets set on fire as well, and that's kill number 5. So it's been a fast and furious match so far. He might not have a very good cannon coming up against the front of heavy tanks, but coming up against the sides and rear and against that artillery, this thing is just a supreme killer. Now he's going to be trying to hunt down this T-25-2, but there is still another GW Tiger P, so has to be careful, because if he gets derped, even if it lands on the terrain near him, it's going to be enough to take him out here. Finds the rear of this T-25-2, he's just fired, so this is going to spell trouble for this guy. Unfortunately, he's got 850 hit points, which is too many for Jonas to be able to take out. Luckily, though, the T-25-2 has a terrible turret and body traverse, and hopefully he can reload in time, but let down a little bit by his gun depression there. Just going to head around the corner as the T-25-2 tries to run away, and he gets taken out, and that's kill number 6 now, and almost 3,500 points of damage. Just having a scout on this flank, trying to find the last artillery piece. He's almost certainly going to be pushed up somewhere on this flank, as nowhere else is really safe. Got to be careful here as this SU-101 is coming in with murder and intent in his eyes. Jonas just deciding to... The discretion is the better part of valor and tries to run the hell away. This 5100 is 5120 even is dropping back. It looks like he's probably reloading his cannon as well. And the paper-thin armor of this French tank is going to be no match for the cannon of Jonas here. He tries to take him out, not quite missing with that last shot, and he has to wait a good 8.5 seconds to reload. But as it is, the FCM50T takes that guy out, and the SU-101 is still alive, but everybody is just closing the net in around this guy. Got to play it careful though, because the SU-101 is almost certainly going to go for the easy target, and that just leaves the artillery, which is now taken out by the IS-3, and that's GG and the victory. So absolutely awesome game there from Jonas, picking himself up a Top Gun medal in a Tier 6 light tank in a Tier 9 game with 3,500 points of damage. Absolutely awesome replay from you, Fast and Furious. So thanks very much for sending that one in. Don't forget to stick around, because as always, the score screens and another game are coming right up. And our second replay of the day is from the user Grazy Frog. That's Grazy Frog. And he's driving the VK3601H on a standard battle on Severogorsk. Eagle-eyed among you may notice that this is still the 8-point-whatever Severogorsk. It's not the one that's been updated to 9.0 yet, and that's just because I'm still making my way slowly through all of the 8-point-whatever replays before we get onto the 9.0s. So, this is probably going to be one of your last looks at the old Severogorsk, so take it in, breathe it in, have a good look, and remember how crap it used to be and how crap it still is. So, onto this replay at hand. Grazy Frog going to be heading over to the right-hand flank straight away in his 3601, the darling of the German tech tree. Used to be a medium tank, and when it was pretty damn fantastic, especially with that Cornish cannon. Now that it's been upgraded to a heavy tank, not quite as... how should we say? Not quite as good as the medium version, strangely. Grazy Frog not really paying attention, driving straight into somebody's house there. He's probably too busy checking the map and seeing if he can get a shot on this T-49. As it is, though, the T-49 hidden well on top of the hill. Oh, there he is there. Grazy Frog gonna have a shot at him and takes him out. Picks up his first kill, first shot of the game. So, fantastic start. And trust me, the way this replay is going to go, that is going to be a bit of a theme. But Grazy Frog crashing into a giant pile of dirt now, before heading on off to the top of the hill. Season E2 Sherman, that's just taken out his ally in the T-49. Got to be careful here. Going to speed this one up a little bit, because this tank isn't known for its speed. Even when it was a medium, wasn't the speediest tank on the block. Finds a Type 58 and kills a Type 58. That's 2 shots, 2 kills so far. He's just going to be having a look here at the ARL. Unfortunately, doesn't get 1 shot, 1 kill on him, because it would have to be an ammo rack if he did. But it looks like the ARL's not really paying attention. And Grazy Frog gets a lovely shot through the top of his turret there. And this ARL not doing a good enough job of hiding himself. And he gets himself taken out. And that's Grazy Frog's 3rd kill now. Most of the allied teams seems to have arranged themselves on that left-hand flank. Nobody really going into the middle, which is a little bit of a shame, because that's mostly where the enemy has placed their tanks. It looks like they must have had a chat before the battle started that they wanted to all basically rush middle. Gets a lovely shot on the Wolverine's track there, take that out, and then he's going to start putting shots through the side of his armor. Hopefully he can take him out before he realizes where he's been shot from. Fades back away, but he's probably still going to be there, and indeed he is. But it looks like the ARL 44 has taken him out. Gunner got killed, and turret's been damaged. So, gonna have to keep in mind that the turret of this thing isn't going to rotate particularly quickly. Finds an AT2 here, who's presented all of his side and rear armor. He stops, but he gets a lovely shot on his tracks there. And one more hit. Nope, that one bounced. You can see he's already thinking about going for the light tank there, but hasn't quite taken out the AT2. So he's just sitting on this hill, just picking off fools here who are making a ridiculous daylight charge across the minefield through the center of the map here. And Grazy Frog just picking them off with impunity. Gets a lovely hit on that T-40, who should have really started making his way towards cover as soon as he takes his first hit. But as it is, he becomes Grazy Frog's kill number 5. Trying to get a shot on that 30-02 there, but it looks like he's just well enough hidden. Most of his body down in that trench, only his turret was visible. So Crazy Frog just going to leave him to his own devices. Going to come around here and maybe try and get some shots on this E2 Sherman. Probably doesn't know that he's here. It's a beautiful shot there to take out his tracks. And then one more hit should be enough to take him out. And that's kill number 6 secured. So now he's going to switch his attention back to the center of the map, as that VK3002M is still there. But it looks like the entire team has just evaporated on that far left-hand flank. Only that ARL-44 left, who's got himself a kill as well. It looks like he's coming down to try and take out the 3002 in the trench. Crazy Frog not got a shot on him, but he might have something on this KV-1 as he goes past the buildings. Indeed he does, but he bounces on the trollish rear armor of that KV-1. Now just got to try and prioritize his target. That KV-1 still pushing forward, but he looks like he's dropped down into the ditch as well. And Crazy Frog just staying here and gets a lovely shot on the 3002 there to take him out and pick up kill number 7. Can he do the same to this Hellcat? Hellcat is actually one of the, well, not one of, he is the best player on the team, so he's probably not going to make an easy target of himself. That KV-1 still down in the ditch. The Hellcat advancing towards the base. Crazy Frog has a shot into the fog of war as he fades away, and he's going to get himself into cover as he doesn't want to take any hits from that Hellcat. But he's still looking reasonably healthy, and they've still got that M8A1 camping right at the back there. Not really sure what he's going to be able to achieve, especially with none of the enemy being spotted. Crazy Frog just keeping himself up on this hill as he is really his team's last hope. He's got himself 7 kills, but he's really alone against 6 other tanks. As I don't think that M8A1 is going to be much of a help. I mean, he says he's a 67% player, but he's got less than 1,000 battles. Oh, and then all of the enemy tanks pop into view. Crazy Frog going to be concentrating on trying to take this Hellcat out first, because he's the biggest threat, especially with his stats and the tank and cannon that he's got. And he takes him out in short order. Can he reload in time to get a shot on the rear of this 3601H, his counterpart? Indeed he can, but he just about fades back into the fog of war, and this is himself alone against 5 tanks now, and it looks like most of them are making a beeline towards the cap circle. So got to be careful here as there's a Hetzer coming up the hill. Crazy Frog can't spot any of the enemy out doing the base capture with this Hetzer there. Gets a lovely shot to take out the track and just decides to ram this guy to take him out. Uses his repair kit to fix his engine up, as like I said before, this thing isn't the speediest tank at the best of times anyway, so gonna need all of the engine power that he can. Gets a hit on the side of the KV-1 there, but I don't think he's even in the cap circle, so that didn't really do anything to reset. Still got a minute left on the cap clock, but he's got to get in there and take on an almost full health 3601 and an almost full health KV-1 before he even has to start worrying about the AT-8 and this Chi-He. It's a lovely shot on the side of this KV-1. Going to try and track through here, through the cover. Takes his shot. Unfortunately, it just takes out the cover. Doesn't actually go through and damage the KV-1. He's taking hits now from the 3601, so he's got to get himself behind this pile of dirt here, just so that he's only facing one target. Angling himself beautifully against this KV-1. This KV-1 can't find a point to do any damage. I think, to be honest, he's probably got the stock cannon there. KV-1 starts to make a run for it. He gets himself behind a dirt pile here, so at least he's managed to survive for the time being, and Crazy Frog's not going to have any of it. He's going to push on forward, knowing that he's probably pretty safe against this KV-1. Gives him some side armor, but it's not enough for the KV-1 to be able to penetrate. But now he's got to go up against his counterpart in the 3601 here with almost full hit points. But to be honest, it looks like the other 3601 has the 88 cannon, so he's going to have a much longer reload than Crazy Frog, who only has 3.5 seconds. And he's missed twice in a row, and that's going to spell disaster for this guy, as Crazy Frog should just be able to take him out with one more shot if he gets lucky before the reload. And indeed he does, and that is kill number 11. So monster game so far, going up against 2 almost full health tanks there and taking them both out in the cap circle. And that just leaves this AT-8 and this Chi-He left. So now he's going to head towards the enemy cap circle. He's got plenty of time, at just about 6 minutes on the clock. They're debating in the chat about whether this AT-8 is AFK. And to be honest, with the size of the map, although this isn't the fastest tank at the best of times, he can probably make it back to his own cap circle if the enemy team does start a base capture at this point. Not really sure where either of these tanks are, as he's never spotted either of them. But to be honest, they haven't had much luck themselves either. You see neither of them there gotten a kill. So coming around, finds the AT-8. It looks like he may be AFK actually, but still going to focus down on his tracks there just in case. Takes his track off. I'm going to switch his attention back up to that large commander's hatch, the weak spot up there. And this is going to account for a large portion of damage. He's going to get a full 800 points of damage off this AT-8, unless the Avenging Chi-He comes in from behind and equalizes this one. Doesn't look like that is going to happen, and this is going to be kill number 12 for Crazy Frog now. All he's got to do is try and find this Chi-He. To be honest, with 4 minutes left on the clock, I'd probably go for a base capture myself, as a base capture is going to take about 1.5 minutes just over to accomplish. So he's only really got 2.5 minutes of free time left. Now just going to speed this one up a little bit until we get back into the action. So Crazy Frog deciding that he doesn't want to go for a base capture, and he's going to head off and try and spot this Chi-He and try and find him now. And to be honest, I think this is probably one of the only mistakes he makes in this game, as he heads off to try and find this Chi-He, and he's absolutely nowhere to be found. And he turns around with 2.5 minutes left on the clock. And like I said, I think it takes about 130, 140 needed to cap. So really, he's going to have to rely on the grace of this Chi-He coming in to get himself killed. As you can see, it's 1:40 on the clock right about now, and he's still not in the cap circle. So really, he's got to rely on this Chi-He coming in and making a foolhardy mistake. So this one could end up being a draw, just for the hubris of Crazy Frog going for that 13th kill. And like I said, he's got to rely on the idiocy of this Chi-He now. But then, like you say, you can always rely on the enemy to make mistakes, and this Chi-He turns up to reset the cap, and Crazy Frog's going to have, I would have thought, an easy time just working this guy down now, as Chi-He's just bouncing every shot. And there we go, that is kill number 13, 4,500 points of damage, and winning this game pretty much solo against 6 tanks there. So absolutely awesome game from Crazy Frog there, being the entire team on his own. Thank you very much for sending that replay in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, it doesn't necessarily have to be a 13 kill game, but if you've got yourself a good one, then send that into replay@screenreality.com. Link for that is in the description. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, entertaining, you learned something, or you just enjoyed it, then definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and leave me a comment in the comment section below. This has been World of Tanks, I have been Maxwell, and I will catch you guys next time.